So you don't get it. My goal is to become the patron saint of smokers. I have visions after I die of my statue in the church, standing poised at the back with my cigarette in hand. Oh, well, I dream a lot. You know, if you run a restaurant and you have a busboy, and the busboy goes out into the doorway between the restaurant where the customers are, you have 100 customers out there, and he takes a family-sized pizza pan, and he uses a 4-letter word, and he throws the pan across the restaurant at a low level where it's flat and sailing like a flying saucer from an alien planet. And as it goes across the restaurant, it severs the heads of several of your customers, and their blood is spewing. It's a mess, and you say to yourself, this is serious. I'm a manager, I know. Maybe we could say it was tomato sauce, but deep down inside, you know you can't cover this up. You can't hide it. So you have to deal with the busboy. So you bring him in the office, and you don't screw around. You say you're fired. The first thing that you say to him. That's how you deal with these kind of things. I suppose you probably should call the police, because if you don't, those customers have cell phones. You're going to look bad if you hadn't called in. What did you do? I fired him. That's what I did. You can go to jail, old man, too. No. It has to be dealt with. Comment on the last video said that the Catholic Church and the Mormons had gone together and financed Proposition 8 in California. I quickly wrote a comment saying that's not true. If it was, I will leave the Catholic Church. Plain and simple. Not like many of my comments that they have to send back to me, then I can't understand what I wrote. I say to myself, it must have been profound. Perhaps I write in tongues, I don't know. Sometimes my most profound things are so confusing that nobody understands them, including myself, but they were profound. Took me less than 20 seconds to Google Catholic Church Proposition 8, and I came up with the name of a bishop in San Francisco, California. Of all the cities in the world, the bishop in San Francisco contributed money in this effort to present this Proposition 8, which violates the church mandate of not getting involved in politics. There used to be priests that were senators, and the Pope said, you can't do that. Same as I told the military chaplain, how in the hell do you wear both uniforms at the same time? And whose sins do you forgive on the battlefield? Do you first check their credentials as citizens? Or are there good and bad souls? Where do you make that separation, Father? When you bless the tank, I bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, tank. And in the country you're fighting, the priest there is blessing the tank. I bless you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God must look down from the heavens and be confused. How do you confuse the creator of the universe? People drive me out of my mind. As if the dog eating the sofa hasn't already done that. Bottom line, the bishop, as I read on, the patron saint of the Diocese of St. Francis of Assisi. Need I remind you of the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi? I'm old, but not old enough to have met St. Francis of Assisi, but old enough to know what his religious order stood for I was part of it at one point in my life. I can assure you that he would not use hateful words that would cause people to kill themselves and say, it is in the name of the Lord I preach. You're blessing tanks, you idiot. I've never called a bishop an idiot before. I have always, in the 67 years I've been a Catholic, I have had the greatest of respect for bishops until now. Thank you, Bishop in San Francisco, whose name I would not even say because I don't want it on my lips, for showing me the way, because I will keep my words, regardless of the fact that it involves my profession, it involves my core being. For I truly believe the Catholic Church is the one that was started by Jesus Christ, our beloved Lord. But I am no longer a Catholic. And I said flippantly on the video that I would start my own church. If you listen carefully, I said nobody can marry in my church, yet people wanted to join. That's good, because maybe I need a church now. But I got to thinking about it. I don't need a church. Too many people, see it right here in my own video, too many people read the Bible when they should be living the Bible. It's that simple. I think this is the worst possible time in my life to be leaving the church. But I can no longer contribute money, and it's been a lot over the years, not to brag, to a church that has no regard for other human beings. Because if that human being lives and breathes, then God is within them. If God was not within them, they would drop dead and vaporize before your very eyes. What is this God? You know, I don't know. Because I'm a human being and I was educated in California. Scary thought, isn't it? I cannot understand the creator of the universe. I have trouble understanding why my Bentley, who loves me all of the time and does everything I say, except, Bentley, you want to bath? He doesn't understand that. He doesn't like baths. I wish I could tell you, as a person who's mentored so many young people, I wish I could tell you the stories of why I'm so strong in my opinion that we must treat people with love and not hatred. I wish I wasn't bound by a rule of confidentiality, because it would be so easy to just tell you one story after another, to tell you what it's like to be at a funeral and try to not cry when you're saying things such as, even though they committed suicide, we must remember Saint Dismas, whose life was all fouled up, who, as he hung dying on the cross, turned to Christ and said, "You're God." He believed. And at that dying moment, he was forgiven because he was God. I believe that. And I said, we must believe that too. We cannot say what happened. It's terrible that he committed suicide. And who would know why? I knew why. His parents didn't know why. His wife did not know why. But I knew why. You know why he died? This is what I would have loved to have said. He died because you hated him for what he was. And you don't get it, even now. And then to have a bishop of the church who says he believes in St. Francis of Assisi, to blatantly do that. And as I mulled it over, how do I quit a church that's the core of me? I said I cannot associate with people with that kind of hatred. The scariest thing about their hatred, the scariest thing of all, is they don't even know that they hate. It's that serious. These are bad people. The bishop in San Francisco is a bad person. And because of his position, and because the Pope would allow that, it means they've lost the message. Even If the book says the netherworld shall never prevail against it, I will always be Catholic. If I'm asked, what church do you belong to, I will say, the Church of God. Is there a Church of God? There probably is. But I will pray. But I will no longer associate or contribute money to an organization that's so flippant that they would allow this terrible injustice to go on. God be my judge. You know, to my fellow Catholics, there are other ways of molesting children. It doesn't involve messing with their pee-pee. You can molest them in their mind. Trust me, I was molested once by a priest, and I know the feeling that it left me with. And when you tell somebody that they are totally bad and evil and they're going to hell just because of who they are, you're damn well molesting them. Yet all we can think about is pee-pees. If you'll excuse me.